Hey y'all. So today I'm going to do a request reading on Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston. I really would like to know y'all age range. And because people really like this time span with Michael and all this other people is super fascinated with Michael. So whoever have Michael like on a spiritual team and shit, that's some powerful shit right there. Because his energy is so potent, you know. So if you working with Michael energetically, that's some potent shit. I did see something with Bobby Hemmett working with Michael and stuff, but I haven't watched it and everything, but I am curious about it. I'm curious about it, but um I feel like Bobby Hemmett has a lot of connects. So let's go ahead. The question is, uh, wait, okay, okay. So the first question is, when and how did Whitney and Michael first meet each other, and what was their reaction once they met? Hmm. I'm already starting to feel that. Um, Looking for my camera. I feel like Whitney was iffy towards Michael. Um, at this point, Whitney has already observed a lot of strange things in the industry. So, and she just really felt like Michael was tied into that. Like she had a feeling about it. And Whitney was pretty intuitive, but she really wasn't like judgmental like that. Hold on, let me test. Okay. Um, she was pretty open-minded just because of what she already experienced. So I don't feel like she was judging him, but she was kind of iffy. I feel like when they first met, she kind of quizzed him and everything to see what type of, I'm just getting a visual of her asking like, do he believe in Jesus Christ? Like, you know how people do that's like a generational thing, but it happens a lot in the South that it's so embedded with religion and everything. People ask you questions like that, like, you know, do you believe in Jesus and stuff? I mean, just the other day, I had some lady, I was ordering food, and she was like, you don't eat pork? So I'm already thinking like, Muslim or something like that, Israelite, something like that or whatever. And I was like, um, nah, I don't like to, which I don't eat pork, but if I'm somewhere and it's available and stuff, I might eat it or whatever. Or, you know, you go to an Italian restaurant and you order lasagna and they will have this pork missing to it. And usually when you ask, like, do you have meat without pork? They'd be like, no, I eat it. But I really don't like the taste of pork and everything. Like, it's not something that I miss, or I feel like I'm missing out on something. It's not hard to me. And I just kind of felt like because I naturally had a resistance to eating pork. And I mean, ever since I was young. So I was the type of person that didn't like bacon. I ain't like sausages and stuff like that. I was the type of person. But you know what? Those one sausages that you cut open and you fry it and you burn it a little bit. Now those are pretty delicious. But I wasn't really into it, you know. Um and you could get that in beef now, so or whatever, but so yeah, I had a natural resistance and I just listened to that. You know, if I have a natural resistance to things, then I just listen to my body at that time. Because honestly, I don't really feel like we should be forcing our bodies into any diet or whatever. We just have to listen to it and everything because there's times that I don't want to eat meat. Like right now, and particularly, I'm craving okra. I've been craving okra for a minute, and I actually had ate and cooked okra and tomatoes like a few times, and I still got a taste for okra. So I feel like it's something in it that my body is needing, you know. Um, yeah, right now I feel tired of meat. So like today, maybe even yesterday, I haven't even ate meat, but I don't even think about it, you know. And sometimes I do eat meat, and you know, it is becoming less. Like I don't know. Like right now, when I eat meat, it just feels convenient. You know, I know that it got protein and shit in it. And because I don't have a lot of training and being like a vegan or vegetarian and shit like that, um, you know, and also when you're a vegan and vegetarian, there's a lot of meal prep going on. Like that lifestyle ain't really that simple. And I remember watching this raw vegan named Christina, and I just used to think that she was just crazy as fuck because I'm like, girl, she's skinny as fuck for one, and for two, she was making this vegan lasagna, and I was like, girl, that's just a fancy salad. Like that's all you can make in raw veganism. That's it. Everything that you eat is a salad. It don't matter how you rearrange it or whatever. That's what the fuck it is. So she would just be looking so crazy to me. And but I would enjoy watching it and stuff because at that time I was kind of like vegetarian or vegan or some shit like that. Which made me feel weak as fuck, you know. Um, and I just could never, I just didn't feel like satisfied or whatever. So then I came across the blood type diet, and you know, it made sense to me thinking about the mechanism of the body because the body, the spirit, and the mind is separate entities. So I be looking at the body like robotic, um, like a machine, basically, you know, and you just need to fuel it, take care of it in a certain type of way or whatever. But also, our soul is connected to this machine, and we could get certain signals and stuff. Like that's why fasting is good and everything because um it helps you to connect to a certain signal and stuff like that. But it's not good to be doing that all the motherfucking time, you know? So I remember one time they were studying this dude who said that he stopped eating years ago. He was also skinny as fuck. I So they held on to him for a long time, and that whole time they observed him and he didn't eat or drink water. So I don't know. Let's continue. My bad. Uh, I'm gonna go by standpoint. I've been doing that a lot lately, separating the standpoints because you get two different perceptions. So let's start with Whitney, her standpoint of meeting Michael. That's a lot of cards. Oh, her first reaction, she really didn't want to get close to him. Like, did they date? I really don't know about Michael and Whitney. I don't know. I guess I looked that up later and whatnot, but her first reaction was to like not let him get close to her. That was her first reaction. She wasn't interested, but it was curiosity though, but it was like in a spiritual way though. She felt iffy about getting, you know, Whitney Houston, like she was like religious, I believe. Cause she don't even when she was living, she didn't like shit like this, like tarot readings and stuff like that. She didn't agree with it. She might even felt like it was like the devil work or some shit like that. And she knew something about Michael mysticism. And, that turned her off. She felt like he wasn't like divinely protected. She might even felt like he wasn't divine. I felt like Whitney knew something intuitively. Like I'm not saying that she's correct, because I feel like she had a perception about it filtered through religion. So because I think that he was divine in his way, but yeah, I do think he had wicked ways and stuff like that. And I felt like that's what she was picking up on. I felt like she was understanding. She kind of looked at him like he was like broken in some type of way, but she's seen it a lot in the industry. So she have a different understanding of it because she been closer to it. Um, so she might even start doing this shit like she felt like maybe she could save him or some shit like that. Like if I could get him to give his life to the Lord or some shit like that. She felt some type of disconnection, like they wasn't on the same team or something like that. She felt like they didn't connect. That's how she felt. Like basically he just ain't her vibe and everything like that. I do feel like they met because like they kind of had to for like some industry shit or whatever like that. So that's why I felt like she was very aware of him. Like she observed him. So, but that could have changed. That could have changed, you know. I feel like she judged him pretty harshly in the beginning. That's what I feel like. Like she kind of thought he was weird and everything. She didn't really understand him, but I felt like she appreciated him in ways like she liked his music. She liked how talented he was, but it was on a mysticism level that she felt a disharmony, you know? Bruh, I told you I'm busy. Anyways, testing, testing. Could they say at 4 o'clock? Don't. Anyways, so I'm visualizing them when they're younger. So I feel like things changed as they got older. Um, but in the beginning, she wasn't vibing with him and everything. I looked over and see pretending, so it was a lot of fake shit. Like they could have, like if at that time they was like friendly in the media and shit like that, or talked about it in the media like they was friends, they was pretending, you know. They really didn't know each other like that. They really didn't know each other. I keep getting a visual of Whitney, one of Whitney performances. She was very skinny at this time. Everybody was talking about it. They was talking about, you know, she looked sick and everything. And I keep getting a visual of that. So, but this is how it beginning, you know, when they met. She didn't really fuck with him, but I felt like she had business to do with him. Um, Maybe she was even going through something of her own. Maybe she was pregnant at that time. Maybe she just had a miscarriage. Maybe an abortion or something. I don't know. Mm. She might have had even been pitted against him. You know, Whitney, yeah, she knew quite a bit and everything, but she didn't know as much as Michael. She didn't know as much as him. I feel like she just kind of judged him harshly in the beginning, and he knew it and he was used to it, and he was just kind of like, you know, you get it, you learn, like some shit like that or whatever. Because with this keeping notes and right here, I felt like she might even went through some type of spiritual experience with him, that she was enlightened to something just with dealing with him and stuff like that. Or maybe she realized that, you know, the reason why she judging him and everything is because of her own situation. And she was just kind of being selfish and judgmental at the time, but she could have also been, she heard things about him, and so I felt like she was um defensive when she first met him and everything. Okay, so how did things progress after that? How did things progress? Too many cards. I glance at these, but too many. Just want like a few more. I think she grew to love him. I think she did. As in like, like a friend or something like that. She grew to understand him because then she went through certain experiences on her own, and then she understood him better after that. Because at first she was being judgmental because of her own shit, though. And I really feel like it's stuff that she heard and everything like that. Because, celebrities, they talk amongst themselves, and, you know, like it's a whole different conversation in the background. So, yeah, in the beginning, she was hella judgmental of him. Uh, she probably thought some negative things about him, or thought he was weird or something like that. But then shit happened. And I feel like the shit that happened is how the industry fucked her up. And then, she got to a place that Michael had been in for a minute. So shit started to make sense to her, you know? And, I feel like for a long time, they kind of like kept their distance and stuff like that, but they kind of like started to appreciate each other from a distance. Well, Michael already knew what the fuck was going on. Like, Michael's the type of motherfucker, he just be watching shit on the news and be like, oh yeah, here they go doing this ritual. That's how Michael was thinking about shit. Like, oh yeah, they trying to, Michael knew, he knew or whatever. So, but she found out. And I feel like, just like Prince, I feel like they both knew that they was going to die. Like the industry was going to kill them. They knew that at some point. Um, and that like brought them closer together. Cause they had the same enemy, They had the same enemy at that point. Yeah, it got to a point, Whitney was like, I don't give a fuck what nobody said about you. Like, I know how it really is now and everything. And I think they even had like a really deep conversation. I think Whitney died first. I'm not sure, but whoever died first, this conversation was like before they died or something. So because, especially celebrities like Whitney and Michael, they really felt the pressure of that industry, because they was mega stars, you know. So many people was feeding off of their energy and shit like that. And they suffer, celebrities, they really do fucking suffer. Like people, they don't get it. They don't get it. Like those motherfuckers, their lives are miserable. They got all that money, but they can't enjoy it, you know? Most of the time they thinking about escaping. They wishing that they could be like us, some regular people, you know? That's how they feeling about it. Feeling like it's not worth it, but they feeling like they don't have much of a choice because it ain't just the industry, but they fighting the mentality of the collective, you know? Cause the industry make you feel stuck in it, like in a bad relationship with a narc or some shit like that. They make you feel like, you can't do better and we throw you out there to the wolves. And the wolves is us. Because they had already programmed our mind against this celebrity before they already about to descend into homelessness and shit like that. So it makes it because now people is not treating them just like people. People is treating them like I don't know if it's a celebrity that fell off. People will really project their demons on them and it will turn really ugly. That's why you see a lot of celebrities when they lose money and they can't afford security anymore, they would get robbed, they would get beat up, they would get targeted. You get what I'm saying? They would get targeted because people will start to project their insecurities onto that celebrity, and people will have some type of fucked up mentality like, if I had all that you had at one point, I would have had never fucked it up and some shit like that. A lack of empathy and compassion, but we all have this shared enemy that make us believe that we have to live in this type of way. Okay. Um, so it turns life into a war zone. That's what it do. All right, so let's get micro perception. Because if Michael Jackson was to lose all his money and he couldn't afford protection anymore, it still would have been obsessed fans out there, stalkers. That shit would have turned bad real quick. So a lot of times celebrities end up going to the extreme just to maintain protection. I keep seeing that pretending card. All right, let's get Michael reception. It came out. It came out. In the beginning, it was on some fake shit. It was on some fake shit. Hmm. Something going on here. What's this about? What's this about right here? I think, let me just look that up, like when they first met, because I think that they were supposed to have like a fake Hollywood relationship. I'm thinking that, but maybe it didn't turn out like that. You telling me they dated? Wow, bitch. Here go people talking about they wildly in love. No, the fuck they wasn't. So I'm guessing from what I'm seeing is that they had some type of fake ass relationship. It was all pretending. That shit was not real. It wasn't shit though. Okay. They did not like each other in the beginning. She definitely wasn't attracted to him. And I felt like they even had a hard time getting along. But this was all for, tabloids and stuff. But this is a ritual. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a Mm, 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 mm. If you go back and look at shit with them together, she might have had even looked uncomfortable in some ways. So, and the energy kind of starting to change. Like, I don't know. Hold on. Cause I kind of feel like he wanted more out of her and stuff like that, but she just, ooh, I'm thinking about that pregnancy card. He might have had even wanted to get her pregnant, and he was offering her, you know, a lot. What? Hold on. The fuck? These people are lying. I mean, these are the tabloids and stuff, but it's a reason why they do this. It's a reason why um they put these celebrities together and all this other dumb shit. It's a reason why they do it. But I feel like they was trying to heighten Michael Jackson desirability because people just was finding it hard to visualize him having sex and stuff, or like he wasn't a sex symbol in my opinion, but I don't know. Hmm. Oh Lord, see they got this photo of them kissing right here. But it look professional, don't it? You know? Like god damn. Oh, she at the Neverland Ranch. Bitch, just some fake ass shit. It's the fakest shit I ever seen. Practically moved in, wow, bitch. So she was also tied into Jermaine. Oh Lord. See, the industry will pimp out a female artist in a millisecond. That's what the fuck we looking at. You hearing what I'm saying? Like, even when it comes to subtle shit, like with recently Doechii did a song with Kodak Black. And we know that he's not attracted to dark skinned girls. But in the video, they made it seem like they was like intimate with each other. But you know it's not real because they didn't like kiss and everything. They just kind of got close to each other. Like they flirting and stuff. And Kodak Black looking crazy as fuck and everything. But this this is all a setup. Okay. They know people thinking about Kodak Black uh coming out saying that he don't like dark skinned women, which I feel like it was a gimmick in itself. I don't feel like Kodak Black really have his own emotions and feelings. I'm really feeling like Kodak Black is like a whole robot for real. Like he don't really got no soul. Okay, so he just do what he told. Okay. But then, they have somebody like Doechii dealing with him. Like that's the beginning. That's the beginning. Like they getting ready to pimp her out, just like they doing to Chloe. You know, I ain't feel like there was no reason for her to begin in the beginning of this show be shown her having sex, her being slightly nude or whatever. You know, it's a reason why this shit don't feel like we can agree with it. Like when it comes to Chloe, it just what we really looking at is the industry pimping this girl out, and she actually uncomfortable with it, but she don't feel like she can do anything about it. But I just don't feel like we know that's not you, but the industry is doing it to her, you know. So it was the same with Whitney Houston. Like that's what they doing, you know. It's something that they do. They do it with Cardi B when they hooked her up with Offset, and all the other fake ass celebrity couples and shit like that. Like, why artists always got to get together? You telling me you never could find like a producer attractive or somebody behind the scene? It's just so in your face that it's for fame and clout, you know? So that's why I feel like Whitney was in such a bad mental state at the time because she didn't feel good with doing this. She didn't feel good with doing it. But it was something like I kind of feel like she either didn't consider why Michael was also doing this shit or she just assumed or whatever because I feel like she was kind of just mad at everybody at that time because she felt like she was being pimped out. That's how she felt, you know? I don't know why I'm getting all emotional and shit. Like, I don't know why, bitch. I refuse to cry, okay? I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. All right. Anyways, so that's how she felt. But I felt like she questioned Michael Jackson intentions and his role in it. Like she just didn't trust him, basically. And I kind of felt like with Michael Jackson, he was aware. I feel like he was aware of how she felt. I think he was even aware of how she viewed him or the possibilities of how she could view him and everything. And I think he even tried to make her feel comfortable. Like I do feel like he was polite to her and everything. I do also feel like he kind of tried to open her mind up to things a little bit so she could see the bigger picture because at that time, like he knew that she was not really seeing all the details. And at this point, Michael had already been here, done this, or whatever. He know what it is and everything. And like, I feel like Michael wanted to hold on to his fame because he wanted to hold on to his security, basically. And I feel like they installed that fear in Michael in a lot of ways by giving him letters. Like they would give him letters and they would tell him like, "Oh, a fan or some stalker or something wrote this to you," and it would be like really fucked up and everything. Like so he felt like his life was in danger if he was to lose his fame and security and shit like that. But it was really the label, the record label and shit. They was doing that. It was really dumb. But they would go so far out to actually hire somebody to take you out, you know? So his life was still in danger. But, you know, all of this is a test because really they really can't hurt you unless you give permission and they manipulate you and trick you in ways to continue to give that permission to them, you know, by living in fear and shit because, you know, with belief alone, you are protected. So let's continue. What did he think of Whitney? I'm gonna separate these questions because I do have to do something. Um, I gotta go somewhere. Meaning from D's and Jermaine Dupri. You know what? I do think that Michael felt like Whitney was beautiful. Like he was attracted to her. I do feel like that. But he knew the circumstances. Like he wasn't like offended that she wasn't attracted to him and stuff like that. Cause we, you know, we got the lovers reverse. Like he just admired her beauty, but he really didn't want to like develop a relationship with her. I think he just thought she was beautiful. Um, he knew she was in her head because I feel like this is her. He knew she was thinking thoughts like this, like, should I follow my calling or do what would make everyone happy? She was stressed out, you know, because I felt like she was in strong disagreements. to the shit that was going on. And she was doing it just because it was some industry shit. How did Michael think about Whitney? Yeah, she doing it to get ahead in the industry, you know? She also feeling ambitious at the time. That's why she just kind of going along with it and stuff like that. They telling her this is the best route. You know, this would propel you to stardom and shit like that. So, you know, she just going through the emotions and everything. She don't feel good about it, but and I also feel like she might been a little embarrassed being associated with Michael because she felt like he was weird. So like she was like why him or something like that. Cause she felt like people who really knew her knew that she wouldn't be interested in Michael. So it kind of just she felt like it wasn't a good fit. She felt like it wasn't convincible and stuff like that. And Michael knew that. Michael knew that she wasn't interested in him like that. Like Michael knew. He did think she was pretty though. He thought she was beautiful. He did. But he knew and he accepted that, you know, she didn't see him like in the same way and everything. And I felt like, you know, he even like agreed, but you know, he just doing what he do, you know. Michael, he having a different perception of it, you know, because he feel like, well, it's nice if I could get along with the people that they do this shit with and stuff like that, but he's willing to do it. And I think it's because um there was a disconnect when it came to Michael sexuality and stuff like that. Like he didn't connect the sets. It could have been similar to somebody like asexual or something like that. But he wasn't like he didn't like the pressure of sex. He felt like sex was kind of like a pressure to him. So he focused on other things, you know, other outside of like relationships and shit like that. So it's people that he connected with, but he was okay with him and Whitney just being friends. Okay, yeah. I want to pull some of these cards for how did Whitney feel about him. Nah, I don't have to. You know, sometimes I would feel like, you know, I ain't giving enough and everything like that. So I feel like I have to give more and more and more and stuff like that. But I'm trying to not do that. I'm trying to not do that. But yeah, it be hard sometimes. That's why my readings be so long, but it don't, I be surprised that they are so long. 2 hours long and shit like that. I like, damn, I was talking for that long. Like it didn't feel like it. So, all right. Hope you enjoy your reading and stay blessed. And I will come back in a part two for the other questions. Okay.